Hello, folks. I just wanted to follow up from convocation, which was a great day. Many of you said you wanted to see the feedback from the staff and what we learned from the June thought exchange survey. So here it is. I'll give you that for right now. So on to the show. This first slide shows the feedback for the number of comments we got. You can see the most is on teacher collaboration. And then that went from school operations downward to the last being not make up the days. There was probably only 3 comments on that. But this is by looking at the number of the comments, you can see how many people were thinking about it as it was important to them. And so that's really good for us to know kind of the frequency in which it came up. This is tells us that there's um, more people thinking about it, about teacher collaboration and school operations and discipline and behavior than there are not making up the days. We had about a total of about 170 people who took the survey, and there were probably over 2,000 rankings of all the different ideas. Everyone ranked about 20. This next slide shows the priority of the comments. So while there may not have been as many comments about more subs and increased pay, it was the highest priority. And then the highest priority ranking was don't make up the days. So it's really kind of interesting for this not make up the days. Not many people thought that that was an important one to submit, but thought it was a high priority. The one that was high in both, in the top three, was discipline and behavior, and teacher collaboration was in the fit was sixth ranked here, but had the most number of comments. So that really, looking at both the priorities and the frequency of how many times comments were made in that area, really tells us kind of what are the top level pieces, and that's how we were able to rank them, which I'm going to show you on the next slide. So feedback from the staff in June, we really looked at what were the positives, which were the negatives, and which had a mix of both positive and negative comments. So on the positive side, we had collaboration time, the district committee work, choice of professional development, and if you go on to the envisioning screencastify that we're going to have, you'll see more about that. Community in the schools and our SEL work. Some of the areas where you said we could improve was increased pay for subs and ESP, making up the days in June, discipline and attendance, student readiness, more equity work, and wellness. And both areas that you thought we could work more on were trusting teachers and communication. There's both pros and cons on this, which was really interesting to see. So some of the work that we've done is we put together a committee at the end of school with administrators and brought in the Maple Run Education Association. We really looked at how could we increase pay for subs, which we're increasing to $16 an hour to be in alignment with many of the schools in Franklin, Grand Isle County, and Northern Chittenden County. We also made sure that pairs weren't paid any level below the $16 an hour, which is the first two steps on the index for pairs that only have a high school degree. And we made pay for ESP level twos and BI consistent. So if you're working more than 66% of the time with kids, you'll be consistently paid at that throughout your day. So you don't have to log in and log out of the payroll system and clock into for different times. We also heard not making up days in June. Uh, I the response to that, and I don't say this glibly, but hopefully we won't have as many snow days and ice days that we did this past year. We have to be in school 175 days. And we were told by the agency if we were able to go our 175, they asked us not to apply for any relief days for COVID. With discipline and attendance, I know that we had a committee working of administrators really to align our processes across all 5 of our schools and make sure we have the same form and processes. That's just process improvement. I know BFA did a great deal of work there as well. But this is our highest piece that we need to know for about engagement of students. Are they coming to school? And so we're going to look at the attendance data every 2 months, and we'll come back and do that. Student readiness, we're really going to keep our interventionists and coaches fully focused on the job in which they are here to do, and more equity work. The creative discourse group, and I'm going to have to end this right now. We'll come back to the slide in the next film.